That was great, thank you, John. And to follow on from that point about supporting Palestinian resistance, I'd now like to welcome Palestinian writer, activist, Ghada Karmi. Thank you for joining us again, Ghada.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and my thanks to Stop the War for providing this fantastic opportunity for people to exchange views and keep up the effort to help the Palestinian people and many other groups, of course, also engaged in unjust wars. I really want to get back to the Palestinians. Because, of course, we know that the present situation is appalling in every single sense, and it's getting worse. You know, I have to tell you that when I get an invitation to address various audiences, people like yourselves, about this situation that we have, you know, my heart sinks. Because I know I don't have much to say except a phrase, only one phrase: stop Israel, stop the war on the Palestinians. That is all really I have to say. And of course that does not make for a speech, but that is really all there is to say about this, because all the speculation about Zionism, about the nature of Israel, about the historical reality, about Balfour, about all the way the whole thing unfolded, is of no use. We need to stop the killing. We need to stop the annihilation of Palestinians and their way of life. Now, if I look at the splendid analysis provided by Michael and John, I would say that the first stage in the plan, if indeed the plan is correct, the first stage has to be the destruction of the Palestinians. Clearly, that is what Israel is engaged in doing. It is currently doing everything it can to destroy the Palestinians and all who support them, whether it's in the Middle East or over in this country and in other Western countries. People who speak up for Palestine, who agitate for the Palestinian cause, and who know very well are subject to scrutiny, to surveillance, and to police action. That is the reality. Now, as to, you know, the details of this nightmare, Human Rights Watch put out a report just recently, a few days ago, which details the crimes that Israel is committing, and as they put it, against humanity. So we're not talking about here just about international law and abstract notions like this. The Israelis are engaged in a war on humanity. The fact that this report has gone unremarked, there's been no fuss about this, is of course typical of the situation we're living in now. And I want to remind you and for you to think about where we are now. After more than a year of this horrendous killing, destruction, an orgy of violence, including sexual violence, that the Israelis have been engaged in, what we've now got is that there is a kind of, I wouldn't say normalization, but at least, if you like, acceptance of the status quo amongst most people. You know, this news about Palestine is not on the front page, or very rarely. You have to actually listen. When you listen to the news, you hear it as not the first item of news. all these are steps in making a situation which is intolerable and unacceptable into making it tolerable and acceptable. So that's what's really happened. And if you think about this, if you look at the details of what the Israelis are doing in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Lebanon, it's beyond any kind of comprehension how such things can happen without people agitating everywhere to stop it. You have to ask yourselves what that's about. Now, as to whether the United States, the United Kingdom, and other Western countries how far they are complicit or are collaborating or are partners in the crimes against the Palestinian people as part of a plan which Michael spoke about very interestingly and very eloquently. I must tell you, I don't know, because I don't think I've come to a point where I actually don't know what all this is for. I don't know, because there are many variables, because things can happen which one does not expect. So the fact that you can conjecture that what the United States is trying to do would be A, B, C, D, and what where Israel fits into this will be, etc. I don't know anymore, because we don't have, first of all, we don't have enough information. Most of us actually don't have enough information. I give you an example. I read incessantly about how the Israeli army is falling apart, how it's on its knees. Well, it's not. It's clearly not, because you can see the war is expanding. I hear all the time about the Israeli economy, which is collapsing. Well, all I can tell you is what I see. I see Israel is still committing crimes. It is perfectly able to keep bombing and killing exactly or even more than it was before. What's that about? I don't know. So really, I want to wind up by saying that we need to ask, therefore, what is it what are we going to do about this? Because I think, you see, there are only two issues to think about now. One, stop this war. Stop killing Palestinians. Two, what can we do to help that aim? In my mind, these are the only two things worth discussing. So I want to leave you with this thought, and I know that, of course, you share with me the desire to stop the killing, of course. But as to the second question, what do we do about it? I think we have to be much more creative, much more focused than we have been so far. We live in one of the states which is actively collaborating and supporting Israel in its war against the Palestinian people. That's where we are. So we need to think about ways in which we focus on the power structures in this country to try and stand up for the Palestinians and get the establishment to stop its collaboration in destroying the Palestinian people. I don't have time, and maybe I don't have all the ideas that I should have about how we do this. But what I do urge is that we need to stand up and get together and focus, whether it takes constant bombardment of our MPs, of our local media, of our national media, of getting together with other people, whatever it takes, we have to be much more active than we have been so far. Believe me, I'm grateful for the demonstrations, for the show of support, for the very, very many rallies in favor of Palestine. it's not enough. I'm sorry, it's not enough. We have to take this much more on board as a call to action, and I really mean action. Imaginative new ways in which we can smash the consensus amongst the ruling class against the poor people of Palestine.